mundo ng ano. Hello, magandang umaga, magandang gabi po. Ang ating pag-usapan sa ngayon ay ang nagpatuloy kanina na pre-trial, tawag nito, clarificatory hearing ni Digong Duterte sa ICC. Ang nangyari po kanina, isa sa mga pinag-usapan ay hindi naman siya galit, nagpakita ng concern si Judge Joanna Corner na may mga abogado raw doon nagpa-interview. So ang kinull out lamang niya ay si Attorney Kaufman na nagpa-interview. Sabi niya, kung ano man ang gusto niyo gagawin, kung kontra kayo sa mga desisyon ng korte, dito kayo sa korte magsampa ng motion. Yan ang sinasabi ni Joanna Corner. Pero pakinggan natin. Pero bago tayo mapakinig, kasi po, nakalista na po kung anong gagawin ng tinatawag na pre-trial. Sa trial, anong gagawin sa trial, may nakalista na binigay kung anong gagawin ng ICC Trial Chamber. Ang nakatawag pansin sa akin doon langga ay yung opening statement. Lahat po na mga parang jury trial kasi yung yung ICC, 3 ang judge. Pero sa pure jury trial po kasi ang mga judge ay mga tao na hindi nakapag-aral. Pero bago ko kayo dadalhin dyan, muna tayo. Magpatugtog muna tayo kay Sarah. Lumalabas kasi, nung sumasabay, sinadya pa ito ng pagkakataon, sumabay ang hearing ni Sarah at saka hearing ni Duterte, ni Digong, ni tatay niya. So, yan po ang nakikita natin. So, sana naman ay mabigyan ito ng pansin, no? Pero kung mabigyan ng pansin, ano bang meron dito? O sadya ng pagkakataon? Sabihin natin nagkakataon lamang na hindi sinasadya. Total, ang alam ko naman hindi kayang kontrolin ang ICC ng Pilipinas. Si Bongbong Marcos ang kayang kontrolin. Pero kaya niyang mag-traidor sa kanyang mga kasama, mga kababayan. Ipadala sa dihig, dapat Pilipinas ang naglilitis niyan. Bakit ipapilitis sa iba? Anyway, kung ako naman papiliin mo, mas maganda ang paglilitis sa ICC. Pakinggan natin po muna yung kanta ni Sara Duterte na aking adhikain na siya ay mananalo pagka-presidente. At sigurado naman po ako, langga ko, na siya mananalo. Alam mo bakit? Sikreto lang pala galaw ni Sara. Nagbahay-bahay siya ng barangay-barangay sa buong Pilipinas. Bandang huli, ang pinuntahan niya yung sa Davao Occidental. Pag lumusob nga siya sa Ilocos, pinagkakaguluhan siya ng mga tao. Pero kung si BBM pumunta, wala. Ngiti lang. Okay.
Sara, Sara, wala nang iba. Sara, Sara lang pag-asa. Sara, Sara, siya lang makapakulong. Mga kontraktor ubusin niya. Si BBM Sandro ikulong niya. Si Tamba Zaldi ikulong niya. Tapang at malasakit ibalik, para bayan ay manahimik. Durugin ang sindikato sa korte, sa DPUA, sa DS Void, sa PhilHealth.
Okay, so yan. Patutugin muna natin yung ating national anthem habang nag-antay tayo ng iba pang mga viewers. Ito po ang ating national anthem ng Toto Causing Tirador.
Sa Pilipinas, kilala ang tindi. Hindi kayang bayaran nino man ang kanyang prinsipyo. Kapag may inaapi, siya ang nariyan. Kapag may bayaran, siya ang hadlang. Hindi siya tiklop sa pananakot ng iilan. Hindi siya alila ng sino mang mayaman. Kung ang kapangyarihan nila ay inaabuso, hinahawi niya yan mano-mano. Kapag ang taong bayan ang nasasakal, siya ang unang sumusugot, tumatagal. Hindi perang sukatan ng halaga, kundi kung sino ang lumalaban para sa masa. Toto Causing pera ang nandyan. Bawat piso, bawat sentimo, kailangang sagutin sa mata ng tao. Huwag nang ngiti para sa mandarang mong walang pwesto, para sa sumisimsim kapag ang hustisya ang pinag-uusapan. Siya ang bantay sa gitna ng laban. Kung may nilulunod ang kasinungalingan, siya ang boses na hindi tatahimik. Sa bawat galaw ng mapagsamantala may salubong na paninindigan niya. Kasing tirador, kasing tirador, kakampi ng naaapi, kalaban ng sakit na buwaya. Kasing tirador, kasing tirador, hindi kayang bilhin ang puso niyang matibay. Hindi lahat ng malakas ay tama, hindi lahat ng tahimik ay duwag. Kapag ang bayan ang pinagkakaitan, siya ang unang humaharap. Kasing tirador, kasing tirador, kakampi ng naaapi, kalaban ng sakit na buwaya. Kasing tirador, kasing tirador, sa taong bayan nagkatayo, hanggang dulo ang
Okay, magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. At si Toto Kausing Tirador, Tirador ng Bayan. O ngayon, ang pag-usapan po natin ay yung na medyo naasar lang si Judge Joanna Corner. Siya po yung presiding judge sa kaso ni Duterte sa ngayon sa Diheg. So, ano ang ating pag-uusapan dito? Tatalakayin natin kung ano mga binanggit ni Judge. Nagalit siya kay Atty. Kaufman dahil nga papa-interview si Atty. Kaufman. Itong i-shoutout ko lang to. Alam mo, Ryan Magbanwa, magkamag-anak pa tayo, pero salita mo ay mali, bastos eh. Mali yan ba? Bastos sa Ilonggo yan, buto mo do. Ay, paibig sabihin buto kasi tarugo. Hindi ko lang biblock, kaya mo lang kasi magbagong utak naman yan. Pwede naman po kayo magbumanat sa akin, huwag lang mga ganun, mga bastos na word. Pakiusap lang kasi mga taong nagsasalita ng bastos ay ugaling bastos, kagaya nung parang ugali nyo yung mga bata na namaril sa Tacloban City. Ay kung bakit namaril yun, ang tatay nila po, hindi sila inaasikaso. Kung ganun ka rin, ang mga anak mo hindi manisikaso, baka mabaril ka ng anak mo. Ryan Magbanwa. Pangit pa naman, Magbanwa pa naman ang pilido mo. Ang dami ko pa naman kamag-anak na Magbanwa. Asawa ng kapatid ng tatay ko, si David Magbanwa. Kilala mo ba yun? Hindi mo ata kilala. Okay, si ibang ikan, Evanelo nabuking na sila ni Mr. Kaufman. Hindi naman sindikato. Nagsalita lang yung si Kaufman. Kumbaga, naasar lang talaga si Joanna Corner. Mali naman po ang inyong walang lohika po sinasabi mo, Eva. Kung magsalita kayo, dapat basihan ninyo naman. May logic ba? May sense ba? Para hindi naman kayo mahiya sa lahi ninyo. Tandaan nyo po, bawat bukas ng bibig ninyo, nagsasalamin yan kung anong klaseng tao ka. Nagsasalamin yan kung matalino ka. Nagsasalamin yan kung ikaw ay bobo. Kaya mag-ingat ka kung bawat pananalita mo. Pero mas maganda pa rin, kahit medyo kabubuhan, basta disente po masalita. At maganda pa po kung makipag-argumento ka, bit-bit ka ng argumento at ang gagamitin mo po yung katotohanan, hindi yung gagawa-gawa ka ng kwento. Diba? So ganun, pakinggan po muna natin si Judge Corner. Kung ano ba talagang anyway, may sila naman to 20 minutes naman itong hearing nangyari. hindi naman lumawig. Ang tingnan lang natin kung paano nangyari kasi gusto ko sana mai-discuss sana ako sa inyo. Ang natawag pansin sa akin, nakalista doon sa utos ng ICC Trial Chamber, third ay yung may opening statements. Bibigyan ko kayo ng example ng opening statements sa sa jury trial at ganun din sa ICC trial. Okay? O ito po si Joanna Corner.
The International Criminal Court is now in session. La Audience Cour Pénale Internationale do it. Please be seated. We will, sir.
Ayan sila, magsimula na sila. Ayan ang bagong abogado ni Digong Duterte, si Peter Haynes.
Yes, good morning all.
Si Joanna Corner.
Madam Registrar, can you call the case?
Good morning, Madam President, Your Honors. Situation in the Republic of the Philippines in the case of the prosecutor versus Rodrigo Roa Duterte, case reference ICC 0121-0125, and for the record, we are in open session.
0121
And again,
0125.
Mr. Haynes, we've excused your client's attendance today, but as I think we made clear, it's only because it's a relatively short hearing.
Yes, I was going to observe, of course, that the movement of a detainee from the detention unit to the court is an unsettling experience, even for the sturdiest of clients. But he's fully aware that you will expect to see him sooner
Yes.
rather than later.
Right, yes. Well, as you're on your feet, Mr. Haynes, we may as well start the introductions with you.
Well, I'm ably assisted today by Miss Gibson, Miss Daniel, and Miss Sethi.
Yes, thank you very much. And the appearances for the prosecution.
Morning, Madam President. Good morning, Your Honors, to everybody in the room. Julian Nichols with Edward Jeremy, Sylvie Wakcham, Zinzana Ziayo, and James Meridi. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And finally, the representatives for the victims.
Good morning, Madam President, Your Honors, Ann Grabowski and myself, Paulina Masida, for the victims today. Thank you.
Naku, wala yung
Yes,
Filipino lawyer.
Ms. Masida, can I just clarify something while you're
Wala si
on your
Atty.
feet?
Joel Butoyan, si
I know you're the only
Andres.
representative appearing today, but
Wala naman
the
kayo pamasahe
pre-trial chamber, I
papunta
think,
Dihig.
appointed 3 of you. Can I ask which of you is lead counsel?
None of us, the 3 of us are lead counsel, actually. The way in which we work, we normally agree on a common position before any hearing before the chamber if necessary or anything. So we actually act as a single team. This is the expression which was used by pre-trial chamber. But we don't have a formal lead counsel in the team, and we take our decisions jointly and collegially.
Yes, all right. Well, I mean, that, of course, is a matter for you. But I want to make one thing clear. Only one of you
Yes.
from the 3 that have been appointed will be asking questions. I'm not going to have 3 people asking questions during the course of the trial.
Can reassure Madam President, this is also our understanding.
Right.
And we will always be an agreement between the 3 of us who will be leading a specific questioning for a witness or a specific arguments in court.
Good
So
morning,
in
Lornito
other words,
Borja.
also for legal arguments,
Saavedra,
only one of us
Bingi
will address
one.
the court. Thank you.
That's very helpful. Thank you very much indeed. All right. I don't think we've got anybody here from the registry this morning. So we might as well move to, as I say, what is a relatively short session. The first item on the agenda was the deadlines for the filings of observations to the expert panel for the reports. And we set, I should make it clear, the experts who are going to examine the accused. We set the following deadlines: the 18th of August for the experts to file their reports, 24th of August,
So
the
August 18,
registry was going to file
August 18 magpapile ang prosecutor ng report nila.
the experts' reports. Right. And 31st of August, observations from the parties and participants, including any request that may be made for an actual hearing. Now, Mr. Nichols, the Office of the Prosecutor requested this item. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Really, what we're asking for is one more week to file our observations, and then, of course, if necessary, another week for the defense and for our friends in the LRV. The reason is very simply, on the 31st of August, we're going to have to file our pretrial brief, our list of witnesses, our list of evidence, complete our disclosure, and then this will, I'm sort of asking for mercy. This will drop on us, and we can't really start writing it early during that last week as well, when we expect to be extremely busy, and depending on what the outcome is of the reports we receive on the 24th, it may or may not be quite a lot of work. So we're just asking for one more week to file so that we can have more time after our deadline for all those other projects. I think there's a total of like approximately 10 that we have due on that date. And so this is formally under Reg 35, but I don't see that this would slow things down substantially in any real way, and certainly not the start of the trial date if we're given that week. So those are the grounds, and that is the request.
It's not, if it was just that, Mr. Nichols, but it's the knock-on effect, because as you say, if we give you an extra week, well, then we're going to have to give the defense an extra week. Well, I suppose it's everybody at the same time, isn't it? Okay.
Your Honor, I think we were filing simultaneously.
Yeah, yes.
So,
No,
so it won't have that extra that I think you may have been thinking about.
Yeah, sorry. You're quite right. Mr. Haynes.
We've got no difficulty with you showing some mercy to the prosecution.
Ms. Masida.
Same with us, Your Honor.
It's all right. We'll be merciful, Mr. Nichols, as it's early on.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
And you can have the extra week. Then the next item, it was the adoption of the protocol on the handling of confidential information. I think you've all seen that it's really the standard one that appears in all trials. Does anybody have any comments on it?
No, Your Honor, just I thought it hadn't been formally adopted yet, unless I'm wrong. It was adopted by the pretrial chamber.
Yeah.
The standard one that's annexed to the trial manual. But we were just asking that it be formally adopted at this stage because it wasn't carried over from the pretrial stage, pre-confirmation stage.
Yes,
excuse me.
I think that's right. Well, does anybody have any objections? Otherwise, we'll just order it to be filed, adopted and filed.
We did have a couple of small observations to make about the text of it, which I think, with respect, might be better done in writing. That's been the practice in the past, and it's worked very well. It shouldn't hold things up at all, but I'm sure we can get something across in a few days.
Right. Well, that seems very sensible.
Thank you.
I think then we'll simply, we'll wait for your potential objections and see if we want to make amendments, and then we'll instruct the registry to file it, or whatever the procedure is for this protocol. Right, page limit of the prosecution's trial brief. Well, you again, Mr. Nichols, asked for this. How many pages are you asking for?
Yan, may pre-trial brief din sila dito, kagaya rin kay Sara Duterte, may pre-trial brief din.
We'd ask for 160, Your Honor, an additional 40 pages. I think, I don't have the stats, but I think that's almost the standard now with the 120 is the
120 pages?
parties ask for some more.
120 pages, pre-trial page nila.
40 less than in the Abdulrahman case, and I think we may use a little bit less than that, but we think that's what we really need to write a good brief.
Yeah, and is that with or without annexes? Because
Well-
you got some help. You had some helpful annexes attached to the pre-confirmation brief.
Yes, that would be without annexes. We will avoid that issue that came up in the last trial about substance in the annexes that should have been in the brief, but that would be without the annexes, so that wouldn't include maps and charts.
No, that's right. Yeah, I think we all agree. Yes. All right.
Thank you very much, Your Honors.
Right, then we're going to give some dates for the next status conferences. There'll be one, as I think we've already given the date, the 14th of July. Is that right?
July 14.
These are all dates that we'll put into the calendar, but if it turns out there's no need for anything to be discussed, then we may vacate them. But otherwise, it's 7th of September, 13th of October, and then the 2nd of November. I rather feel the one on the 7th of September, because by then we'll have had the reports, is likely to be an important one. And for that, certainly, Mr. Haynes, we would expect Mr. Duterte to be here unless there's some medical issue. The final matter that I want to raise is this. Just a minute. And that's the question of statements being made by counsel.
Yan, ha? Pinansin na dito si Aikwan, si Attorney Kaufman. Yung nagpapa-interview si Attorney Kaufman, yan ang pinansin niya rito. Pakinggan natin.
To the media. This case has attracted, not surprisingly, a substantial amount of media interest in
Inacknowledge siya na matindi ang pagpansin ng media sa trial.
the Philippines in particular.
Particularly sa Pilipinas.
That's not, of course, only mainstream media, but as is common these days, social media, and additionally appears to have provoked suppliers of what is undoubtedly fake news, and obviously
May mga suppliers na fake news.
fake news. The first thing we wish to emphasize is the need for the media to report to the public accurately and fairly what is said in court, and above all, to avoid speculation. That is important in any trial, and it's doubly important when it comes to a trial of serious allegations. Nothing could be more serious than these of criminal activity. Can I just issue a reminder to the media that anything which is said in private session may not be reported. Part of the reporting of the earlier proceedings in this case was not assisted by comments made by previous defense counsel Nicholas Kaufman to the media. On the 3rd of October of last year, the pretrial chamber issued a reminder to him to remember that he had a professional duty to be respectful and courteous to the chamber. Regrettably, that reminder had no effect. On the 26th of April of this year, after the appeals chamber had made its decision on jurisdiction, Kaufman gave at least 2 interviews commenting on the decision. Some of those comments were his personal view of legal decisions made by the court as a whole, and were on any showing wholly inappropriate. The more so when made by counsel in the case. In the light of this previous history, this trial chamber feels it incumbent to repeat the reminder or warning to all counsel in the case for the reasons that I have already expressed as to the importance of this trial. We see no reason why counsel should feel it necessary to make any comment to the media. The appropriate forum for counsel to raise matters is in the courtroom. Trials are not conducted by the court of public opinion, but by this court during the course of the proceedings. We should add finally that we are somewhat surprised to see that other than the catch-all type provisions which are contained in the Defence Code of Conduct, namely Articles 5, 7 and 24, no guidance on the topic of media comment is offered to counsel in any of the codes, in fact, those including for the prosecution. But of course, it's particularly applicable to the Code for Defence Counsel. And we feel that this is a lacuna which should be rectified sooner rather than later. So, are there any other matters that counsel wish to raise at this stage? On either side? No. In that case, that concludes the status conference this morning.
All rise. We would
Doon, hanggang doon lang. Iksi lang. Nag-remind lang siya. Ang pinakabuod lang ng kanyang hearing kanina ay niremind niya lang mga abogado, magkabilang abogado, ma-prosecutor at saka hindi. Pero ginawa niyang example, yung nagpa-interview si Kaufman sa media. Actually, naalala ko yun, interview ni Kaufman na ang nag-interview sa kanya si Alvin ng Tours, si Alvin ng Tourism. Hindi naman media yun, kundi media vlogger lang yun, social media vlogger lang yun. So anyway, we can just say na highly concerned. Natutuwa ako doon, nakikita ko na ang justices ng ICC ay too much concerned sila. At matindi daw ang pasok ng media pagdating sa Pilipinas. Grabe daw. So, makita mo lang, siyempre Duterte pinag-usapan. Kahit sabihin mo marami nagagalit, mas marami pang nanonood na mga galit sa kanya kaysa yung supporter ni Duterte. Mas marami pang nanonood kaya gusto nila makita nila na mamamatay-matay na si Duterte. Hindi sila makamove on. So, ngayon, nais ko lang din ipansinin sa inyo na may tinatag po na closing statement at opening statement sa mga parang jury trial. Pag marami ng judge, parang jury trial. Kagaya sa ICC, parang jury trial. Kaya naniniwala ako na patas ang paghusga dyan sa jury trial, sa trial chamber. At parang ganito po halimbawa. Halimbawa ko sa inyo yung gaano kagaling itong tinatawag na jury trial. Kasi adikain ko rin na mag-jury trial tayo para ano bang jury trial na inaadika ko na kung saan Duarte sa kada hearing sa lahat ng korte natin, sa kada kaso, magpapatawag ng mga tao at taong bayan, pipiliin sa raffle, bubuo ng 12, manunood sila sa trial, pagtapos ng trial sa korte natin, sila magdidesisyon kung guilty si Duarte o hindi. Yan ang gusto ko sana dito, 12 po yan. Alam mo, ladies and gentlemen, yung jury system po ay nagsimula yon officially sa Amerika noong July 4, 1774, nung itinayo yung bansang Amerika. Pero hindi pa naitayo yung bansang Amerika, nagsimula na yan noon. At yung pinaka matindi na jury trial na pinakamagaling sa lahat na sa kasaysayan ng jury trial ay ito po yung nangyari sa panahon o sa century na sinilang ang United States of America. Ito po yung jury trial ni Jan Peter Singer. Siya po ay isang German na publisher ng libro. Nilagay niya po sa kanyang librong pinimprenta, tinira niya si Governor Cosby, William Cosby ng New York. Pero that time, ang New York ay parang probinsya pa lamang ng Great Britain. So, tinitira kasi si Governor Cosby. Kaya ang nangyari, gusto niyang tirisin si Jan Peter Singer. Si Jan Peter Singer po ay galing siya sa Germany at lumagi siya doon sa New York at doon na siya lumaki. Siyempre, Amerikano na siya. Tapos, ang kandepensa ni Jan Peter Singer ay katotohanan. For the first time in the centuries old, bago dyan, ang mga libel Duarte nung araw, yun mga kaso na sinasampa ng mga ministro ng reyna, ministro ng hari, ang reyna, kasi hindi mo pwede mababali ang hari. So kung meron kang ang pagmumura po sa mga tauhan ng hari at reyna, ay parang minura mo na rin ang hari at reyna. Kaya ang parusa noon, Duarte, ay puputulan ka ng tawag nito, tainga. Grabe ang parusa nung araw. So siyempre ang nangyari naman diyan, nung araw hindi depensa ang katotohanan para sa libel, makukulong ka o di kaya maputulan ng tainga o di kaya lalatusin ka, latigo. Kung ilang latigo o di kaya nung araw pa babatuhin ka. Siguro, yung binabato para magparusa niyan. So, ganun po nung araw. Ngayon nagbago sa panahon ni Jan Peter Singer. At gusto naman ni William Cosby, na governor ng New York, ay i-trial si Peter Singer sa pamamagitan ng chamber judges, ng isang judge lang. Hindi papayag ang mga kakampi ni Jan Peter Singer at winarningan nila si Governor Cosby kasi nagkipaglaban talaga sila. Kaya sabi ko, walang api kung walang magpapapi. Ang mga tao doon hindi nagpapapi. Winarningan nila si Governor Cosby, if you will proceed with their intention to try Pedro Singer by the use of a single judge, then one of us will go to Great Britain and we will complain before the king against you. Kasi nga sa king, utos na yun yung king, lahat ng kolonya ng Great Britain, dapat pag may kaso, ang maghuhusga tao. Ganun ang inano ng king. So dito, ayaw niya. So nanalo si Peter Singer, shortcutting ko na lang, ang depensa ni Peter Singer ay, ang sinulat niya pala kasi, yung mga korupsyon ni Governor Cosby. Tapos ang depensa naman ni Peter Singer, katotohanan. May ebidensya siya. So ngayon, sabi ng abogado, ang galing ng abogado ni Jan Peter Singer. Sabi niya sa Tagalog pa, ang kalayaan po sa paglilimbag ay para pong isang ilog. Kapag ang ilog ay lagyan mo po ng isang dam, ang ilog po ay aalsa. At aalsa hanggat sa lampasan pa niya yung kanyang harang. At kung ito man ay babahain ng todo, at kung hindi matatag ang harang na yan po ay wawasakin ng ilog, yan po ang press freedom. At kung mawawasak ng tubig ng ilog ang harang, iyon po ay babaha at magiging magulo, riotos ang pagdaloy ng tubig at ang lahat ng dadaanan ng righteous na tubig na to ay mamamatay. Ganun po ang prinsipyo ng freedom of the press. Kaya huwag nating kontrahin o kalabanin ang freedom of the press. Yan. So nagboto-boto ang 12 na jury member. Mga tao lang yun. Wala pa nga, hindi pa nga marunong magbasa. Naboto sila 12-0 pabor kay John Peter Singer. Yan po nag-umpisa. Ngayon, tumakbo na sa panahon ngayon, andun pa rin ang Amerika. Diyan, pa rin. Jury trial pa rin. May isang one of the greatest moments of jury trial in the history of the United States of America ay yung trial ni O.J. Simpson. Kilala mo ba lang si O.J. Simpson? Si O.J. Simpson po isang sikat na football player. Ang football kasi sila para rugby. So, ang asawa niya puti. So, nagkaanak sila. Tapos, bandang huli, nagkahiwa-hiwalay sila ng asawa niya. May nobyo at ang ibang asawa niya. So, napatay niya yung kanyang asawa. Tigpaniwala ko lang yun na pinatay niya. So, ngayon, isa doon sa mga ebidensya na nakita doon sa crime scene ay yung glove. Glove, ano ba sa Tagalog ang glove? Guantes. Hindi ang guantes kasi Espanyol na salita yan eh. So ibig sabihin walang Tagalog na salita ang glove. So guantes, tawagin natin guantes kasi iyon naman ang naintindihan naman ng lahat. Mapa-Ilocano ka man, mapa-Ilonggo, mapa-Cebuano, Bicolano, guantes pa rin ang tawag. So ngayon, parang ano lang yung kutsara. Kutsara ang tawag sa lahat. Pero Espanyol na salita yan. Parang gano'n lang yan. So ngayon, ipapaliwanag ko lang dito yung guantes. Nakita ng abogado ni O.J. Simpson yung guantes. Your Honors, sabi na sa judge. Kasi may judge, tapos may jury trial, may jury members sa gilid. Nanonood ang jury members kung paano takbo ng ebidensya, pinipresenta ebidensya, pero ang judge ang nagpapatakbo ng trial. Parang referee yung judge. So, Your Honor, may I move that those gloves be fitted into the hands of my client. Tapos, pinos ang hands of my client. Nang sinuot ang guantes, hindi kakasya. Sabi ng NBI kasi, FBI pala, hindi NBI, FBI. Nakita daw yung guantes sa crime scene at yun daw ang ginamit ni O.J. Simpson sa pagpatay sa asawa niya. Adios, patria adorada. Hindi nagkasya ang guantes. Sigaw ng abogado ni O.J. Simpson. Your Honors, if it does not fit, acquit. Putang ina. Kung hindi nagkasya, absulto. Yun nga ang nangyari. Napako ang utak ng mga 12 jury members doon sa guantes na yun. Hanggat matapos ang jury trial, yun lang, unanimous acquitted, not guilty si O.J. Simpson. Ganon po ang nangyari. So ngayon, may kwento pa rin ako sa inyo na jury trial din. Nangyari ito kay Casey Anthony. Si Casey Anthony, isang bata pang babae, mga 28 years old pa lang. Maganda. Alam mo ang problema sa kanya, Duarte? Ang problema sa kanya ay namatay ang kanyang baby. Sa swimming pool, natagpo ang patay. Yung baby niya. So kaya, si Casey Anthony, hiwalay sa kanyang boyfriend. So kumbaga depressed siya, desperado. Kaya nga, ang nangyari, dahil sa desperado siya, pinapabayaan yung baby niya, o di kuminsan yung galit niya sa tatay ng baby, sa baby niya, napubuntun. Nakikita din siya na pinapalo niya yung baby niya lagi. Umiyak ng todo yung baby niya. So one day, isang araw, ay nakita, napatay, nalunod ang kanyang anak. Kinasuhan si Casey Anthony ng kanyang nanay, sariling nanay at sariling tatay na murder by means of drowning sa kanyang anak, baby niya. So, pakikabit mo. So, nung kinasuhan na, ito na ngayon, napresenta na natin ebidensya. Ang natutuwa ako dito lang, alam mo, no? Yung abogado na si John Baez. Si Attorney John Baez. nag-deliver ng closing statement. Sabi niya, my dear members of the jury, good morning. And I thank you for your civic service to our country. And after having watched the proceedings and after having seen all the evidences presented by both parties from the prosecution and from the defense, may I just say you one thing. It is important for you to take note. If only to pronounce the guilt of the accused in the crime of killing, we must present to the court the manner or how did the baby die. If we do not know how the baby died, then you must acquit. Ganun lang kayo. So pakinggan natin na, interesting ito. Pakinggan natin yung ni Attorney Jan Baez, yung kanyang argumento. Napakaganda. Nag-aral pa lang ako na nangyari itong hearing na to. Nagre-review pa lang ako sa bar exam. Ito si Attorney Jan Baez.
And it's quite obvious. He is. What Mr.
Not
Ashton
guilty,
tried
sir.
to do when cross-examining him was not question him on his science. No. He wanted to question him on the facts. He wanted to question him on how much of the police reports he had read. Well, the police reports didn't do the police didn't do the autopsy in this case. They might have for Dr. Garavaglia. They might have influenced Dr. Garavaglia. But this is a man of science who actually did a complete autopsy to check, to see what exactly could have happened to Kaylee. And he did say one other thing. He did have one very important finding. He told you that when you open up a skull, and if a person has died of suffocation, there is a discoloration in the back of the ears. That was not in this case. He testified to that. And he told you, and it doesn't always happen, but it certainly wasn't in this case. Well, that also eliminates one of the state's theories. It's actual physical evidence. It's not hoping. It's not guessing. And it's certainly not something Dr. Garavaglia did when she botched this autopsy. Why not open up the skull if you're trying to get to the truth? Why just look through a little hole and think that you can be able to determine what's there, when obviously there was something there that was relevant, something there that could help you, that could explain to you, this isn't the way they're saying it is. You have to ignore this completely if you buy their duct tape theory. He tried to Mr. Ashton tried to get him to talk about things outside of science. Well, explain to me how someone could put the duct tape on there. There's a million ways. It doesn't necessarily mean a person did it. You've heard people referring to this area as a swamp. You've heard the state say it was underwater. Well, water is going to move around the duct tape. You also have the issue with Mr. Kronk. Rolling skulls dropping out of bags, they're outside of bags, inside of bags. What's going on here? You have all kinds of different things, and you also got to see the photographs of the duct tape lying flat on the ground, and then at the medical examiners all the way there. Now, initially you might say, well,
Pinupunan nila.
that's a leak.
Tigay.
I can't believe that evidence would be manipulated that way. But I think we've seen through the course of this evidence that that's not so far-fetched. Is there evidence of it? No, I won't go that far. But it's certainly a possibility. And if you're going to entertain fantasy forensics and other possibilities of the state of Florida, you can certainly entertain that. But we will not ask you to do so. We think you need to rely on actual physical evidence, actual true evidence, not nonsense. Something you can see something you can look at and know exactly what is true and what's not some fantasy. Now, I'd like to talk about the defense case a bit.
So, believe ko na sa abogado na to, wala siyang kudigo, nagsasalita. Dinideliver ang closing arguments niya. Attorney John Baez. Ayun, dito sa dulo.
Get out. And you had the incident with the ladder the day before, and Cindy was swimming the night before, it is extremely reasonable that she could have drowned in the pool. And that's where the state fails. They must rebut each and every reasonable hypothesis of innocence. They cannot rebut this. They can't do it. It's impossible. They can say all they want about chloroform and duct tape and where the duct tape was or where it wasn't, whatever they want. The issue here is, how did she die? That's why, again, we're back to that one question. How did she die? Where did she die? Did they present one single piece of evidence as to where Kaylee was when she passed away? Zero. When did she die? Why? Because she want to go party? They want to give you the who without the where, the how, or the why.
Galing na abogado, no?
It's impossible. This case, if you look at the law and you look at the facts, is relatively easy for you to decide. It's a tough decision to make because of the seriousness of it all. But factually, it all makes sense.
Yan, nakita ninyo kung paano magdepensa. Sa tingin ko, ako, ganun din ako kagaling magdepensa.
Or the why.
So, kita mo sa katapusan, no? Pagtapos na may presenta, kita mo kung magsalita ng abogado ngayon, walang kudigo, hindi kagaya rito si Rizal Ontiveros, mayroong index cards. Yan, wala, dire-diretso. Ganon din ako po mag-deliver sa kung napanood lang ako kung paano ako mag-cross-exam sa korte. You could just imagine how I'm doing it. I'm doing it just like in a TV series. Ganon ang kwan. I'm too proud to tell the whole world that whenever I conduct my cross-examination, all people in the room are looking attentively and listening attentively to every word I utter, to every question I utter, and to every question, to every answer that the witnesses that I am examining would answer. Ganun po ang pinagmamayabang ko, Ben Reclamador. Kita mo sa dulo, ang sabi niya, sa dulo ng argumento niya, you did not know how the baby died. Baby Kaylee ang pangalan ng baby. You did not know when did she die. You did not know where did she die. The prosecution did not present a single piece of evidence to prove how the baby died, to prove when the baby died, to prove where the baby died. Panalo. Grabe. Believe ako. Kaya dyan, nagre-review pa lang ako sa bar exam nung pinanood ko yan. Yung trial na yan. Nako, kaya tuloy, muntik na ko mag-top na sa bar exam. So anyway, I'm just telling you this. Tapos, ang nangyari, yung trial kanina kay Sarah, kay Digong, yung confirmation, hindi confirmation hearing, clarificatory hearing ni status. Walang ginawa doon si Judge Joanna Corner, kundi magalit na lang, nagalit siya kay Attorney Kaufman kasi nagpa-interview si Kaufman kay Alvin Tours. Sabi ni Joanna, I noticed that there is some substantial interest being shown in this case. And it is the most apparent in the Philippines. Sabi niya, grabe, siyempre mga Pilipino, anti-digong man, pro-digong man, lahat gusto manunood. Yan po ang katotohanan. That's how digong popular is. Positively or negatively. Popular siya sa mga kumukontra sa kanya. Popular din siya lalo sa mga pumapabor sa kanya. Kaya, ang hirap dito ipapaliwanag. Having presented the case of Casey Anthony, acquitted si Casey Anthony sa akusasyon na siya ay nilunod niya yung kanyang anak na si Kaylee. Acquitted din si Digong. Bakit? They do not know how these supposed war on drug victims died. Sabi niya, Duarte? Sabi niya sa Tagalog ni Attorney John Baez, sabi niya, Tagalogin natin, alam niyo ba kung paano pinatay ang baby? Alam niyo ba kung saan pinatay ang baby? Alam niyo ba kung kailan pinatay ang baby? Ang prosecution na nagpresenta ng ebidensya ay wala man lang pinresentang ebidensya. Nada. Zero. Ganon din mangyari kay Duterte. Tanungin ng mga ni Attorney Hines, did you know how each of the victim died? Did you know how each of the victim was shot? And did you know who were the people who killed these alleged victims? Yung mga tanong na yan, Ben Reclamador, hindi kayang sagutin na kahit sino. Ay, dyan pa lang po. Makikita ko na po na matutumba ang kaso. How much more pag ako abogado tatayo dyan, nako. Ano yan? Sasabog ang lahat ng mga proposal nila. Ano bang ebidensya na pinakita laban kay Digong? Napuna pa nga ni Judge Joanna Corner. 197 videos only on speeches, sabi ni Judge Joanna Corner. Can you just reduce this? All of them are telling the same thing. At saka all of them do not show na si Digong pumatay. At lahat ito ay mga speeches ni Digong. Kill, kill, kill. Pero ni-splice out nila. Kinat out nila yung part ng video na nagsasabi na nag-speech siya sa harap ng mga pulis. But if you don't care, you kill without justification, there will be a hell to pay for you. Yan ang kinat out nila. So may chopping out parts of the video. Kaya dapat tayo, matuto po tayo, Ben Reclamador, tumingin sa mga ebidensya kahit galit tayo sa taong inaakusa. Ang totoong testing lang kung gaano kagaling ang isang tao, ay ganito. Kung kaya mo pakinggan ang ebidensya pabor sa taong kinamumuhian mo, yan po ang test na tunay na magaling kang tao. Ganun po yan. Dito, marami dito mga, basta kay anti-Duterte, antay lang na antay. Hindi ba nila inisip? Wala namang ebidensya sa si Digong mga nagpapatay. Wala kayong ebidensya. Puro lang kwento. Kwento ng mga akusasyon dahil presidente siya. Of course, presidente ka kasi. Pero sa totoo lang buhay nito, the truth of the matter is, you do not have any direct evidence that will prove that it was Digong who killed them. Ngayon, meron silang tinatag insider witnesses. Si Colonel na dating bata ni Digong, si Colonel Royena Garma, si SPO3 Arturo Las Cañas, na dating tauhan daw ni Digong doon sa Davao, mayor pa siya. Kasama rin yung Davao mayor pa si Edgar Matabato. Napansin nyo ba, napanood naman natin itong mga testimonya nila ni Edgar Matabato, ni SPO3 Arturo Las Cañas, pero lahat po nakakatuwa na pwede mo matukan, pwede mo mabigyan ng paniniwala. Kaya lang hindi sapat ang paniwala. Kailangan po ng ebidensya para umangat sa level ng proof beyond reasonable doubt. Iba po yung proof beyond reasonable doubt, iba po yung hindi. Kasi meron po tayong doktrina na tinatawag res inter alios acta. Ang sinumang tao ay hindi pwede sabihin na magiging guilty ng dahil lamang sa sabi-sabi ng ibang tao. Just the same also sa mga statements na pinalabas ni Colonel Asierto, a person who is claiming to be a victim of Duterte. He has told so many stories. He has showed some photos, pero ang mga photos pinakita niya, yung si Duterte na katabi kay Michael Yang, wala nga silang ebidensya na magsasabi na si Michael Yang ay drug lord. Hanggang ngayon po si Michael Yang ay may-ari ng, kung alam niyo yung NCCC sa Davao, the biggest mall sa NCCC. Nag-aral pa lang po ako sa emission 1980s, nandyan ang NCCC. Tatlong si NCCC. Kalaban niya ng Gaisano Mall. 1980s pa lang. Nag-aaral ako sa Mindanao State University sa Marawi City. The moment na dadaan ako ng Davao City, kasi dyan ako usually dumadaan, via Davao City and going to Marawi City. Tapos whenever I go home from Marawi to my place in Coronadal City, dadaan din ako sa Davao City. At lagi ko nakikita yung NCCC na pag-aari ni Michael Yang. So, ibig sabihin, 1980s pa dito na si Michael Yang. Ngayon kung talagang may drug siya, at kung talagang may ebidensya sila ni Asierto, tsaka ni Espio Trilas Cañas, at saka si Edgar Matubato, halimbawa. Although wala siyang sinabi tungkol sa mga Chinese. Bakit hanggang ngayon hindi pa nakakasuhan? Yung tinuturo na pinapangalanan ni Trillanes na drug lord ko, no? Si Samio. Andun si Samio hanggang ngayon, nagdinegosyo sa Davao City. Hindi man lang hinuhuli. Sabi sabihin, yung mga kwento na ni Trillanes, akala mo totoo kasi pagalit. Binimintin pa niya. Trillanes, you are the most destructive fake news factory. Grabe, pati yung pagtatanggap mo ng pera sa maleta, pinagtatanggi mo pa, huling-huli ka na. Ang style mo lang yan, kunwari mag-assert ka, hindi, mga sinungaling yan. Ganun naman ang depensa ng mga tao. Babalik tayo sa res inter lusapta. Guilty ba si Trillanes at saka si Dilema? Dahil binanggit ng mga maleta boys na binigyan sila ng maleta. Kung salita lamang po ang ginamit ng mga yan, hindi magagamit lamang kay Trillanes. But the problem is, the reality speaks and shows na yung mga Marines nito ay nagbibitbit pa ng litrato. May mga video pa sila bitbit, hindi pa nila nilalabas. Marami po, kumpleto. Ngayon, as to the question, whether or not na nag-deliver sila ng maleta, totoo po yun. Ang kasunod na tanong, whether or not may lamang pera maleta, it's another story. Ito namang mga congressmen na pinagtuturo, marami, halos lahat sila ay member ng prosecution team laban kay Sara Duterte. Lahat sila ay nagdi-deny, lahat po sila nagsampa ng kasong libel at saka perjury laban sa 18 Marines. Ngayon nadagdagan 4 na Marines. Yung isa doon kinasuhan na rin tinuro si Chis Escudero na nag-deliver ng 4 na maleta kay Chis Escudero. Sa bahay niya sa number 150, 9th Street Corner, Hema District, sa New Manila o Barangay Marianas. Marami po sila. Lahat sila. So, what moral authority does the prosecution team of House of Representatives have na umakusa kay Sara na sila nakatanggap ng maleta? And the same manner that the senators, some of them, are being put on trial in the bar of public opinion dahil po sila ay may kaso rin. Kagaya kay Chis Escudero, kagaya kay Joel Villanueva, kagaya kay Jinggoy Estrada, kagaya ng iba pa. So, kagaya kay Soto nakatanggap. Anong authority ni Soto na mag-judge na guilty si Sara? Hindi. Na siya nakatanggap ng 5 maleta. Ganon din si Lacson na nakasakay sa helicopter ni Saldico. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm wrapping up my show today. And my objective is only to show to you nung nangyari, naggalit si Judge Joanna Corner ng ICC sa kay Attorney Kaufman dahil nagpapa-interview. At isa pa, ay pinakita lang niya ng issue na siya ng utos na kung kailan magpipresenta magpe-prepare ng opening statement at saka closing argument ang mga magkabilang panig. At pinakita ko sa inyo ang sample ng closing argument na kung abogado ay magaling, makita mo talaga magaling siya. Pagtapos niya presenta na isa-isang ebidensya at saka sa dulo nagsabi siya, there is only one thing for you to know whether to convict my client or not. Look for it. If you know how did the baby die, if you know when did the baby die, if you know where the baby die, i-convict nyo. Pero kung hindi nyo alam, i-acquit ninyo. Ganun nga nangyari. In-acquit nga si Casey Anthony. So maraming salamat po. So si Edith Trinitaria, palaking ko lang muna. Ano gusto ni Judge mangyari? Yung fake mainstream media at corrupt politicians lang ang bumubuka. Andito tayo, huwag ka makalala. Ika-counter natin yan. Si Ben Lecamador, magandang umaga po, Ben. LC sa Avedra, pwede po ba ipakita ng mga evidence tungkol sa ICC na tanggap ng pera? Yes, pwede po ipakita kasama sa paimbestiga sa kanilang depensa. Pagtapos ito naman, si Marcelo Santa Ana, maging stupido na rin pala itong si Disbar. Bakit stupido? Kwento mo lang yan. Bigyan mo ng ano. Yan ang mga kwento na Marcelo Santa Ana. Yan po yung kwento ng mga wala kayo sa katwiran. Wala kang ebidensya. Ganun lang nanggagaslight ka kasi hindi mo kaya akong argumento ko. Ang argumento ko po nakabase sa katotohanan, sa prinsipyo ng mga batas. Ganun po yan. Romualdez Tambi, naihi nga sa pantalon yun. Si Mary Jane Andrade, that's why dito ako nanonood, nakapakatalino like you, Kuya Toto Terodor. Salamat po. So, Ebano Loha, nabuking po sila, Mr. Kaufman. Hindi po sila sindikato. Nagalit lang po. Ang sinabi lang ni Joanna Corner, ayaw lang niya na nagpa-interview. Wala pong kwento na nabuking. Well, kung nabuking, asa ng ebidensya mo, Ebano Loha? Pakita mo po. I-discuss natin, pag-usapan natin. Sino pa? Si Ophelia Taipan, si Perni Pinto Sr., Annabel La Villaluz. Hi, God bless the ICC panel of judges. Maricar Santos, Grace Line. Tapos si LC Sabita, ay hindi po bugos yan. Alaan mo lang. Naniwala po ako mananalo si Digong dyan. Relax lang kayo. Romel Bengson, yes to jury system. Brian Kazay, legit. Si Ophelia Taipan, si Ticon, gustong palabasin, nadihado pa rin si EPRD. Tapos, sino pang Mary Jane Andrade, Ohio gozaimasu, like Dan. Salamat po. Mr. Romualdez Tambi, may Ben Lecamador, one day, isang araw, ISO nakita ko. Okay. Tapos, Mr. Romualdez Tambi, takatuto, sinong baby? Baby M? Mr. Romualdez Tambi, Ben Lecamador, Ben Daloyo R. Ben Lecamador, Ferdinand Ramos Aquino Jr., ang mga fake students na unsa naman. Tapos, Dennis Causing, kapatid ko, Mr. Romualdez Tambi, katuto mo kang may nagsasalita dyan sa tabi mo. O yung mga nagsasalita, ang asawa ko nagsasalita eh. Domingo Barameda, Marhay na aga, Doming, Mr. Romualdez Tambi. Tapos Mayap Abak, mga kabalen, naimbigat na bigat ng mga kabsat ko. Tapos si Amando David, good evening po. Ben Lecamador, Temi Stoklos, kumusta ka na, Temi? Tapos si Ben Lecamador uli, si Mr. Romualdez Tambi, si Gerardo Mundalico, sino pa? Mary Jane Andrade, si Bugoy Katun. Alam mo yan, attorney, na maraming ginpatay si Digong. Pero ang problema, walang ebidensya kasi Bugoy. Ang problema natin pagdating sa korte, ebidensya eh. At tanda mo, hindi magtagumpay ang ay, depende po kung ang mga mabuti ay hindi magsalita, hindi magtatagumpay ang mabuti. Ganun lang po yan. Sabi nga ni Edmund Burke, it takes for evil to triumph, it takes good men to do nothing. Ganun lang ho. Kung hindi naman sasalita mga mabuti, wala rin. So, Eljon Bugoy, bakit ka nagtagumpay naman si BBM Bangag? Okay, ako nasasalita ko kay BBM, magnanakaw talaga. Pruweba na po mga maleta. Ano bang sabihin natin na hindi natin nakita laman ng maleta? Pero dapat na sinakay sa aeroplano. Ano pa ba ang dahilan na magiging laman Duarte ng maleta? Bakit isasakay sa aeroplano? Ikakarga sa helicopter. Kung hindi ba naman pera laman nun? Bast kwento ni Trilling na naniwala na agad sila, buti nga Michael Yang ay hindi si Michael Jordan. Mary Jane Andrade. That's why dito ako nanonood sa napakatalino like you, Kuya Toto Tirador. Salamat po. Mr. Romal Distambi, akin nabasa ko na kayo Marcelo Santa Ana, binira pala ko niyan. LC sabi na pwede ba ipakita ng mga evidence? Matatunghayan natin yan pag sinumitin nila. Sa ngayon po, hindi pa kasi nagsimula ang trial. So, Edith Trinitaria, ano gusto ni Judge mangyari? Yung fake mainstream media? Ayan, mga mainstream media natin, laging mga fake yan eh. So, LC Saavedra, maging magaling si Corner, ay bakit hindi niya po ba alam na wala pa pang jurisdiction? Yung mga jurisdiction issues, pag-usapan natin sa bandang huli yan. Junilo Laguador, good morning po, attorney. Mr. Romaldi Stambi, Kwento Barbero. Toto, sana topic po mga kontraktor na sangkot sa flood control. Tapos ngayon, nasa DPWH pa rin. O gano, pwede. Sa sunod, King Philip, pagsayang naman na disbarka, Tony Toto, marami ka pa sanang matutulungan if ma-reinstate ka. Sige lang, God will find a way. Kung gugustuhin ng Panginoon, gagawa ko at Panginoon ang bahala. Hello po, Tony, watching from Europe. Okay, magandang umaga po sa lahat.